This episode of 6'5 Guys is brought to you by Defiance Machine, defying tradition with innovation. Our Bros Rifles, precision on another level. JC Steel Targets, the industry leader in quality AR-500 steel targets.
Hi, welcome to 6'5 Guys. I'm Ed Mobley.
And I'm Steve Lawrence. It's been a long time in coming, but we finally have our 308 tactical rifles for the tactical division in PRS. So we're going to show these off in this episode.
Exactly, and a lot of folks have been asking because these have been anticipated for a long time. And I didn't realize to what degree people followed our equipment choices, and our bros who put these rifles together, they actually got a few calls saying, hey, why are the 6'5 Guys waiting? Well, there's a bit of a story behind that, and just to make things very clear with our viewers, is with the barrels, Broughton had a recall on a substantial number of their barrels, and it's really comforting to know that our bros uses a supplier that will own up to a production quality issue at, I can only imagine, at enormous expense. And also, you know, despite our enthusiasm to get our rifles together, you know, we have a builder who was just not going to compromise on the quality. Yeah. So I just want to make it very clear to our viewers that it was not due to a lack of responsiveness on the part of our bros. So correct. Just make that very, very clear to folks out there.
So, you know, I want to give also a shout out to some of the businesses that we've worked with that have actually donated some of the pieces to this. Now, we have a long-term partnership with Defiance, so obviously these use Defiance actions. Yep. And also a big thank you to Tom Manners and his crew at Manners Composite Stocks. So the stocks came from them, and we'll provide some more details on these as we get into this. But the rifles are pretty much configured exactly the same, except yours is left hand, and we have a couple of different choices in terms of bipods and optics. Exactly,
and yeah, we were very excited at SHOT Show when we saw this new Manners stock where it's integrated with the MPA barricade stop system. But you know, if you really like the prospect of using the MPA barricade stop system, and maybe a chassis is not your speed, but you like this type of configuration, it's really nice to know there's an option out there.
Absolutely. Now, we've used Manners Composite stocks on our other competition rifles, and again, for this season, we're continuing to do that. Now, this is a little bit different than what we had been running, which was the Elite Series T2A. This is new for 2017. This is the Manners PRS-2. So there's a PRS-1 and a PRS-2. The difference being that the PRS-1 has a butt hook. The PRS-2, which we're using, just has a straight slope.
Which we prefer for rear control.
Yeah. The other unique thing is they have some advances in some of the vacuum forming processes. This uses a new process for the carbon fiber shell. They call it the Platinum Series, which is kind of a step up from the Elite Series. What they're able to do is conform the stock to the barrel channel within certain specifications, and the inlet for the bottom metal, which is a mini chassis design. That allows them to save 2 to 3 ounces in weight and make this twice as stiff and strong.
Yeah, and as Tom was explaining to us at SHOT Show, they got new vacuum forming equipment, which allows them to pull a higher vacuum. So besides the benefits that you stated, it allows them to actually put finger grooves on here, which is something they were not able to do with their older vacuum forming equipment. And these finger grooves also have the benefit of adding additional rigidity. So it's a real win-win approach for them.
And I love the gap camo design that came with this. That really kind of sets it off and makes it look nice.
It does, and of course, you know, it also retains basically the adjustable cheek piece from KMW,
Yep.
which is really, really nice. Would just encourage folks when you order these stocks, you can ask for long studs. For those of you who may be raising the cheek piece a little higher. And then also, if you're going to be riding it a little higher, you can ask manners to actually route this out a little deeper, so that way you don't have to remove your cheek piece to take out your bolt.
Yep.
So something to keep in mind.
Now, as far as kind of other standardized things between the two rifles that are the same, the barrels again are a Broughton 26 inches. This is the heavy Palma contour, or the competition contour that Broughton uses. And because it's 308, these are 1 in 10 right hand twist. Now you're going with a slightly different muzzle device.
Yeah, I'm going back to my suppressor for this season, because shooting a 308, you're dealing with both recoil and noise. And then just from practical considerations, I was doing a lot of my practice at my home shooting range, and usually I shoot suppressed, and then I just realized, I really like shooting suppressed. So,
and I appreciate it when we practice.
Yeah, and so again, not that I didn't like the recoil abatement I got from a muzzle brake. I just wanted to quiet things down for a while. So I'm gonna roll with the suppressor, and then I found out too it by having a little bit of extra weight out there at the end of the barrel. It, at least for me, it tends to stabilize things a little bit. I mean, you'll see a lot of these Olympic shooters, they'll put all sorts of weight intentionally out at the end of their rifle. So I also saw a benefit of having a little bit extra weight out there as well.
Okay. I'm using the APA Fat Bastard brake, which I think provides a leading class recoil abatement. It is loud, but if you're trying to maintain sight picture on a moderately recoiling rifle like a 308, I think that really fits the bill.
Absolutely. And I neglected to mention that the suppressor I'm using is the Thunder Beast 30 P1, which I've had now for about 3-4 years. Just a really nice suppressor.
Well, let's go to the bipod choices. What do we have here?
Yeah, just quickly before we get on the bipod too, and another thing that I've noticed with some chassis systems is if you decide to use the AW magazines, the clearance when you insert it with the receiver is it's really important that magazine be up close to the receiver. If you have too much slop, you're going to end up with some feeding problems. But I'm happy to report that with this Manners stock,
It's rock solid.
Yeah, it's rock solid, and it just feeds like a dream. And I do like their release levers here that it would be very difficult to inadvertently release your magazine.
Yeah, and it's actually happened on some of the paddle releases I've had. I've had the mag fall out a few times. So.
But yeah, just so going back to the bipod again, I continue to use the Harris bipod. I have seen though some of the interesting things folks have done, with the Atlas bipod, particularly when shooting off certain obstacles. So I still have my Atlas bipod, and I'll admit that while I prefer the cant control with the Harris, there are now certain advantages that I've seen, people to leverage with this. So I may play around with the Atlas a little more this year.
Okay, good. And again, I'm using an Atlas bipod with the quick disconnect.
Yep.
And then, of course, the Tactical Supply bipod talons are a nice accessory.
Yeah, and I'm using the same Tactical Supply bipod talons, and also I have the quick release system where if you refer to our video on bipods, we give you all the part numbers and everything so you can convert a Harris bipod to a quick release system.
Should we go to the optics and mounting system?
Why not?
Okay. So for me, I basically, for now, have moved my Night Force Beast scope. It's a 5 to 25 optic, first focal plane. And it's sitting in the American Rifle Company rings. I think they're the Arc 10 rings. And then I have a breakaway coaster as far as a zoom lever. So this will serve its purpose for the next month or so. I actually have a US Optics ER25 that I ordered. It's in the production queue. Hopefully I get it within about a month, and looking forward to trying that out.
Yeah, and likewise, I have mounted here my Vortex HD Gen 2, and I took it off my other rifle because I knew it worked, and I did that just to get the rifle, make sure that everything was working. But I'm also going to be using the Night Force 5x25 front focal attacker, and what I really like about it is that the reticle has a center aiming dot, which is something I've been very desirous of, and it has it's divided into 0.2 mil increments, so you could do a lot more
fine
precise.
pullovers, yeah.
Exactly, and I also look forward to going back to the Night Force Zero Stop. I really prefer that to the one on the Vortex. And what's really nice now is this comes out of the box with some really nice Tenebrix scope covers. And then it comes with a sunshade. And then also, if you're not doing a lot of windage adjustments, it's got a really nice cover that goes on there. But for some of the folks that prefer to dial windage and will roll without this cover here, they supply a nice little thread protector that you can put on there. So that's just a very thoughtful addition. And but one thing I'm not going to be doing is putting on like a throw lever here, because particularly over the past year, I basically keep it at 10 to 12 power, and I just leave it there, because I've noticed that it just gives me a wider field of view. I'm no longer hunting for targets. And then I also discovered on those really long shots, I mean, you can just see the bullet trace going all the way to like a 12 or 1400 yard target.
Yep.
And I was missing that when I was zooming in at higher powers. So again, I just, I used to run a throw lever before, but now I'm really not going to be adjusting the power that much.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to mounting these optics here soon and getting those underway. If you guys see us out there shooting these rifles, please, and want to get a closer look, let us know. We're happy to get you behind them and try them out. So, really looking forward to getting out to matches and getting rounds on target.
Yeah, and just another quick note about the Defiance action. Again, it is their Deviant action.
It is.
And it has the Guardian cut, which allows you to use these AW mags, which just feed very, very smoothly. Now these are branded Defiance, but if you order a rifle from our bros, it'll be the same action, but it will be branded Arbros. And of course, we decided to leave these in the white, but of course you can get any number of colors that you might desire.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about the triggers.
Yeah. So running jewel triggers.
Yep. So this is a little bit different. I do run jewels on a few of my rifles. The last few seasons I've been using a Huber 2-stage and decided to go with jewel on this build.
Well, now what's interesting about the Huber triggers, now they offer a version that is externally adjustable, and you can choose between single and 2-stage.
Yeah, that's 2-stage you can turn into a single stage.
Yeah, so I tell you, I might even play with that. But I tell you what's really nice about the jewel trigger is you can really dial it down to a weight where you feel that the rifle is shooting when you want to shoot, but you can do it and still be very, very safe.
Yeah.
So right now I'm running it right around 1 pound, and again, trigger pull weight is a very subjective thing, and sometimes I play around with it, but right now 1 pound seems to work well for me. Other folks prefer it a little heavier, but again, to each his own, right?
Yeah, and I'm running right around 1 pound myself. So
yeah, it makes it very, very responsive. Yeah. When your mind says fire,
it goes.
It goes. It goes. It goes. So yeah, so I think we've pretty much covered it. And as Steve mentioned, when you see us at the range and want to play around with these, we can accommodate left and right-handed shooters as well. And then also talk to the folks, Travis at Arbros, if you'd be interested in a similar build or perhaps something even a little different.
Yeah, he can accommodate any customization you want.
Well, I think we've pretty well covered it.
Yeah, and we'll have the write-up. Be sure to check that out on our website, guys. Hopefully you found this interesting. If you have and you like it, give it a thumbs up on YouTube and share it with your friends on Facebook.
Remember, folks, life's an adventure.
Stay on target.